Hello everybody. So I wanted to make a short video talking about autism and emotional overload. So when there's a relationship, let's take mine for instance. With YouTube user Nisi Cats. Her channel is amazing, by the way. She does great videos on homelessness, and they're first-hand videos on homelessness. So it's not the same as those people that walk around and for monetary gain, talk to homeless people. But hers are real, they're raw, they're great. So emotional overload in an autistic relationship like her and I have, because we both have autism, is something where when you've been around each other for 24/7, you can get your emotions to become really heightened to the point of getting too heightened. As some of you might know, but some of you might not know, people with autism can get sensory overload, which means that the things around them, like for instance, lights and things, can overly affect them. And so autistic people really need to have their own separate space. However, when you can't have that, like her and I did last year, starting on January 29th, where from January 29th up until just recently, we were pretty much around each other 24/7, then your mind and everything and your whole system starts to get very sensory overloaded. You start to get emotionally overloaded because you're around someone for a long period of time. And so with autistic people, when that happens, at some point there's going to be a point where the body and the mind can no longer handle this emotional overload, and it's going to snap, and it's going to release all of that emotional overload. Similar to people with PTSD who have a ton of PTSD and then boom, it just snaps because it's triggered by something. And so it's not a bad thing, but it's not a good thing. And I say it's not a bad thing because it's just part of the disability. There's no way to completely, get around that other than to have a separate space. But when you're stuck in places that you don't have that option, then there's really not much you can do. You have to just try to manage and cope the best you can. Now, what does this mean for autistic relationships, specifically autistic relationships where there's two people that have autism? Well, what this shows and what this means is when you have two people with autism, if you're in a shared space, you have to find a way to manage and cope and allow separation long enough to come down from overwhelm. Now, I love this person, and I want them to know that I understand